Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this afternoon. Just curious what the vibe is like in the building. First day back after a long weekend, getting back to it.
Yeah, the vibe is good. Obviously we got the win, so that's the most important thing. But we had a few days off, and everybody enjoyed that time off, just off of a short week.
Want to follow up really quickly, if I could. You guys were able to keep the Pittsburgh pass rush mostly at bay on Thursday night. What were some of the keys to your success against a pretty good defensive front?
Yeah, definitely. Just stop their star players, control the blitz, and just make sure we see everything and communicate for the most part. And I think we was able to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question, Mike Reese.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
Good, good. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Thanks for taking the time as always. 2 games in 5 days. Just curious if you could take me back to where you were at Sunday after that Chargers game, how you sort of felt it
Mhm.
went for you that day as you went through corrections review, and then where you were at, call it whatever, whenever you did the corrections on this game based on how
Yeah.
you played.
Yeah, after the game on Sunday, during the game, I felt myself just playing out of character, playing out of, not really trusting myself on blocks, and a couple of blocks, a couple of run blocks. I was just noticing how they were playing me. They were anticipating what I was going to do and kind of playing around me or jumping around my block. So I picked that up, towards the middle of the game and all of that. But yeah, after the game, watched the game. Most of it or most of my bad plays are pretty much just me not trusting my technique or me being in a position and just thinking I was in bad position. So whether it was that and then following this past game on Thursday, yeah, I mean I took the corrections what I did from the past game and most of the times I'm in good position. I'm in good technique and footwork and all that. So, the more I trust myself and the more I just adjust and just play the game within a game, then I'll be all right.
Two quick ones. One follow on that topic. Bill O'Brien mentioned I think his words were he had a hell of a game against the
Mhm.
Steelers. What's it mean to have the OC refer to your performance in those terms?
Yeah. Yeah. It means a lot, especially, you know, um, obviously it's five guys, the whole line. We all did our job and did our part, but, I had one of the star or one of our keys, Watt on my side. So, I was able to neutralize them and we had a good game.
And then my other question was more bigger picture, Mike. You got 4 games left, and then
Mhm.
for you, you got an interesting, like, I guess, blank canvas ahead, right? I mean,
Yeah.
based on the contract situation, I'm just curious how you're approaching it in terms of balancing what's right now in front of you, and
Mhm.
then what's ahead and where that might lead.
Yeah. For me, I'm really just focusing on the now, the most important. I can't control whatever that is, whatever that narrative and all of that. But I can control these next 4 games and you know pour everything into that. Make sure I'm doing the right things. Make sure uh make sure I'm correcting myself and make sure I'm trusting myself and my technique and all that. So that's where I stand. I'm not really paying too much attention. The most important thing to me is the next game this week. So we got to get another one.
And next question, Chris Ryan.
Hey, Mike. Bill Bryan also pointed out your leadership as well, in addition to your play in the Pittsburgh game. How would you describe, your leadership style, and do you feel like you have, stepped up into that role a little bit more this year?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've naturally just stepped into the road, as I've gotten older, obviously it's new guys in and out each year. So, this is just really this year, I really just started to look around the huddle and, at a point in time, it was just me, Dave, and Trent that were mostly like the older guys in the huddle or in the group. So, I just started to just be vocal. And then, like, as we got more injuries, it was, we really needed people to step up and really just like bring everyone along. Not even everyone, but bring one person, whether it's talking to someone after they have a bad play, whether it's watching some corrections or just talking, just normally. But that's just a part of the game. As you get older, and as you know your teammates more, and we all become friends and all of that, then that just comes apart with it.
And also was noted, obviously, your game against TJ Watt, the way you were able to hold up against him. What are some of the kind of the differences and challenges going up against a guy, like Watt, who has that whole different combination of stuff versus, say, Chris Jones or somebody like that on the Chiefs? And how do you kind of mold what they do versus, what you want your technique to be?
So just overall, most DNs they have a style or like their first, whether it's their first or second moves, whether it's a speed guy, whether it's a power guy, they work primarily that. So I know a lot of guys are probably, or a lot of speed rushers try to beat me around the edge or edge me and just run past me. So that's pretty much what I expect from most edge rushers, and then most pass rushers. As like 2 weeks ago versus the Chargers, those guys are kind of like a toss up because they can work both, or I got a set for both. So that's pretty much how I look at the technique, whether or really looking at the DN, both DNs, and looking at what type of rusher they are, what do they like to do, and all that, and then just adjust during the week.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
And 2 final questions here, starting with Mike Giardi.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to go back to something that Mike Reese asked you just about, sort of maintaining focus on what's happening with you now, concentrating on one game and not, potential of free agency. Do you have to talk to people around you and be like, I don't want to hear anything. Don't read me anything. Don't tell me anything. Just let me do my thing.
Not so much. Everyone, asks me about it or talk to me about it, but honestly, like it's still uncontrollable. I don't know what's gonna happen yet. It hasn't happened yet. So at the end of the day, I really just focus on what I can focus on. At the end of the day, I know it sounds cliche, but I mean, like at the end of the day, you really can't control it, or you really don't know what's gonna happen. So
It's fair.
I'm just focusing.
Do you like tackle?
I do like tackle. I do like tackle.
What is it about, like, obviously there's difference in spacing and stuff. What allows you to be able to do both? To be able to jump inside the guard for a good part, and now you're out at right tackle.
Yeah. I think part of it, like has part of it to do with my athleticism. People primarily see me as a guard, but I'm an athletic guy when I need to be. Playing on the inside, you just got to block the guy. The fight is right there within 3 steps. But I mean, a tackle, you got to get out there. It's a lot of space to protect and all that. But for me, like I said, my athleticism, I have some length on me. I have pretty much longer arms and a big grip. So most of the times when I get my hands on somebody, it's a good fight or it's a good match for me.
Who's the best athlete amongst the offensive linemen?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Trent because Trent is Trent. He in his own space.
I got you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And final question here from Taylor Kiles.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for your time. I was wondering, like you said, you're an athletic dude, but you're also like a bigger guy for the position. So when it comes to facing explosive dudes like a Khalil Mack or a TJ Watt, what are your techniques that you have to really hone in on to make sure those guys don't beat you around the corner and you're in a good position to stay balanced, just in case they want to counter stuff off their speed?
Yeah, most of it, or like even just watching these past 2 weeks, most of it, or let's say why I had a bad game versus the Chargers. Most of it was me just stopping my feet and just leaning for the most part. So when I'm able to keep my feet moving and keep my body lean, not just leaning on somebody, keep my posture upright, then I'm able to just move and wall anyone off.
Thank you so much.
Gotcha.